So you're breastfeeding, but you're exhausted. Your baby still seems hungry, or maybe you're going back to work soon, and suddenly formula starts sounding like a pretty good idea. Or maybe you're already in a combo feeding cycle due to low weight gain in the early weeks, latch difficulties, or low milk supply. But these are the common questions that I hear about combo feeding. Will combo feeding with formula ruin your milk supply? Will your baby start to prefer bottles? And what if it feels like you failed? Let's talk about how to combine formula with breastfeeding without losing the progress that you've worked so hard for, because you can do both and you can do it well. You can also work toward getting out of combo feeding if that's your goal too. In this video, we'll cover some important things to keep in mind when combo feeding and some tips at the end to help you be more successful in combination feeding breast milk and formula, no matter what your long-term goals are. If you're new here, my name is Allison Tolman. I'm a lactation coach and a breast pump expert, and I helped career-driven moms breastfeed with confidence, pump efficiently, and feel in control, especially when they're going back to work. We have lots of clients who are combo feeding, some who are doing this very intentionally and have the life that they want, others who are actively trying to get back to full breast milk. We support mothers wherever they're at to work towards wherever they want to go. That's really important to our mission here at New Little Life. If you're thinking about adding formula but want to protect your milk supply and breastfeeding goals, or if you're already doing that, I've created a free guide to help you navigate the combo feeding really step by step. So just comment down below this video the word guide and I will send you the link. Okay, let me start with a quick story. This is what I hear so often. This is Rachel's experience. One of my clients, Rachel, was 3 weeks postpartum and really overwhelmed. Her baby was nursing constantly at night and she was barely getting any sleep. So one night her partner gave her a formula bottle and she slept for 4 glorious hours. It felt like a huge win. And if you've ever been a new mom, you know what that feeling feels like, okay? But she didn't pump during that bottle. And then it happened again. And before she knew it, she was down to 3 nursing sessions a day and her baby was really fussy at the breast and chugging every bottle. Her supply had dropped without her even realizing it. She actually joined our program pretty quickly after that, and we worked together to rebuild her milk supply, get her baby back to the breast a few more times each day, and kept that formula as well as a tool instead of something that took over. And now she's combination feeding confidently in a breast milk formula ratio that feels really right for her, with a thriving baby and 0 guilt. So we're going to cover in this video 4 core pillars of combo feeding. Now, I do want to call out that this is a judgment-free zone here, okay? I realize there is a wide array of situations and desires. So if you're looking for help getting out of a combo feeding scenario, this video will help. If you're looking to find a good combination of breast milk and formula that works well for you, this video will help. If you're over breastfeeding and just kind of looking to switch to formula, you might want to go find a video on weaning instead. We're really going to focus these tips and tools to help you keep your baby on breast milk, either some of the time or back to all of the time, depending on what your long-term goals are there. Okay, so pillar number 1 of combo feeding is to protect your milk supply. All right. If your goal is to continue breastfeeding, it's important to understand how milk production works, especially early on when your body is learning how much your baby needs. Okay. The key is every time milk is removed, your body gets the message to make more. Another expert coach in my program who helps me out and helps our clients, she likes to say this: we don't keep secrets from our breasts. And she's 100% right. If you offer a formula bottle, that's totally fine. Just remember to tell your breasts that you're doing that by pairing it with a nursing or pumping session so that your body stays in the loop. This will really help you prevent supply dips over time. We had a client who did this really, really well. Tara started supplementing early due to weight concerns, which is not uncommon. She was pumping a bit as well because she knew she needed it to protect her milk supply, but she was getting small and inconsistent outputs. So sometimes it was really, really small. Sometimes it was kind of all over the place, but she was definitely leaving milk behind. All right. Even though she pumped every time her baby had a formula bottle, her supply never fully established. When we started working with her, just a few simple changes to make her pumping more efficient, we helped her recover and maintain breastfeeding for the long haul. Thankfully, she reached out for help really quickly. It is much harder to fix milk supply issues if a good supply isn't established and or corrected really early on. Another tricky thing here is that often there are some breastfeeding issues as well, which is a really common reason why we get into this combo feeding scenario in the first place. So using an inefficient baby at the breast to help bring in the milk supply isn't the greatest idea either, right? This usually leads to triple feeding. And we have another video talking about that, which I'll put down below in the description for you, which is breastfeeding, bottle feeding, either breast milk or formula, and then also pumping basically at every feed. All right, this is not a long-term solution, just a short-term way to protect your milk supply while you address whatever issues are there. The key with this first pillar is protect your supply. If you're combo feeding and want to keep breast milk as part of your baby's diet, don't forget to tell your breast to keep making milk. You can do this with frequent, efficient milk removal sessions, either with a baby or a breast pump. Okay, pillar number 2 is to use formula intentionally. Formula is not the enemy. It is a tool, and it's a great tool. It can give you flexibility, reduce stress, and provide nutrition, while it can also give you peace of mind when used with intention. So these are some of the things you might want to ask yourself. Why are we using this bottle? Is it for convenience, for sleep, for growth? Is this part of a routine or just a temporary solution while we're working on something else? Is this necessary for infant growth while we work on a problem feeding area? Okay, knowing your why helps you stay confident and in control. It can get away from you really, really easily. So knowing why we're doing this, how it fulfills your goals is really important. Andrea gave us another really good example of this. She had a NICU baby and was instructed to use formula early on. Again, not uncommon in the hospital, okay? Once home, she wanted to adjust. So we built a plan together that honored her goals and kept things sustainable. Her feedback was this: for the first time, I didn't feel like I was just reacting. I had a plan. She started with combo feeding, but was actually eventually able to reduce the formula to 0 ounces and got completely back to breast milk, which was what she had wanted in the first place. Just a reminder, if you felt unsure or overwhelmed about adding formula, or if you're already doing it and feeling a little like, oh, comment guide below in the comments and I will send you a link to a free guide. Also, feel free to tell me down there in the comments too what you're struggling with most as well. I would love to hear it and respond the best I can. Okay, so that was pillar 2, using formula intentionally. If it just becomes a whatever or an easy go-to, it's likely to intrude more than you anticipate. Use it with intention based on your long-term goals. Know your why. We're on to pillar number 3, which is supporting your baby's experience. If you're combo feeding, your baby is likely going back and forth between breast and bottle. The way we offer bottles can make a really big difference. Use paced bottle feeding to slow things down and mimic the flow of nursing. It helps reduce bottle preference and supports your breastfeeding relationship. Paced bottle feeding is actually a really great way to feed any baby any bottle, regardless of what's in it, but it's especially important for babies who go between breast and bottle. Without this, babies are likely to start to prefer the bottle because it is so much easier. All right, babies are not dumb. They want the easiest option. A bottle can give milk quickly, fast, and easily. They don't really have to work for it at all. So imagine when you go back to the breast and a letdown takes a whole 10 seconds to come in. They get that initial volume and then want more, and then they have to work for it and have another letdown and dig deep for that hind milk in the back of the breast. This gets even harder when the milk supply is low, which is a common problem that's often paired with combo feeding. Sometimes that's what leads us to do that in the first place, which makes it a really downward spiral for you and the baby at the breast. This is kind of like DoorDash versus a home-cooked meal, and I just used DoorDash last night, which is probably why this metaphor came to mind when I was thinking about this topic. It's easy and convenient to get something delivered right to your door, no effort required. I didn't have to do anything. It just showed up. But me and my family do get a more balanced, healthy, and customized meal when I make it myself. So I also feel better afterwards too. And it's cheaper. Oh my gosh. However, it is often tempting to just order something in. Humans want the easiest option, and babies are no different. Fast, easy food in a bottle is really appealing. Paced bottle feeding, where we're making the bottle feeding experience as similar to the breast as possible, is key for babies to continue to go back and forth easily from breast to bottle. Here's a pro tip as well along the same feeding experience. It's a good idea to start with the breast whenever possible and then offer a bottle afterward if needed. This gives your baby a chance to feed directly and signals your body to keep producing milk. Depending on your situation, you may just go straight to the bottle because that's the purpose of what you're doing, and that's fine too. But if you are trying to reduce the amount of formula, try starting with the breast first. An example in this pillar is Emily. Her baby started refusing the breast. We looked at feeding technique and discovered that she was actually using a fast flow nipple. With pace feeding and a switch to a slow flow nipple, her baby actually started nursing again within a week. This is really common. It is not actually the shape of the nipple that causes nipple confusion. In my experience, it is almost always flow preference. So pace feeding paired with the right equipment in the bottle made it really easy for the baby to know that they're gonna have to work either way, so they might as well be at the breast with their loving, warm mother. And that worked really well for her. And pillar number 4 of combo feeding is balancing your needs too. You matter in this equation. All right, sleep, mental health, work demands, these are all valid reasons to adjust how you feed your baby. Combo feeding can offer the best of both worlds, nourishment for your baby and breathing room for you. So if this is something that you're choosing intentionally, more power to you. I hope you can find a good balance that feels right for you. The key is to remain in control. It's so easy to let formula take over and cause problems, like we've talked about in the other pillars here. So if you want to keep breast milk, make sure that there's intention in how you're using formula. But never, never, never feel guilty if this is something that you choose or want. There's also no need for guilt if this is something that you were forced into or started out with, maybe because of improper help and now you're stuck here, okay? Sometimes this is the situation we're handed, even if it's not ideal or what we want. I had a client once, actually, Lisa. She introduced one bottle formula at night so she could rest. And she had this to say. She said, that one bottle let me be more present during the day. I stopped feeling guilty and started feeling like myself again. My baby still is taking 90% breast milk, and I am so proud of that. This is a perfect example of how breastfeeding doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can do what works for you, and you can do that with no shame. That really is the only thing that I care about. I want you to feel in control, and I want you to be able to make decisions based on what feels best for you. I don't care how you feed your baby. I just care that you feel in control and you get to do what you want. What I don't love to see is combo feeding because we don't have the resources and tools and help to get where we actually want to go. Does that make sense? Okay, one bonus mindset shift, and then I'm going to rapid fire some tips for combo feeding for you, okay? And this is something that I hear a lot about breast milk versus formula. So here's what it is. I gave formula bottle and my baby finally seemed full. Maybe my milk is just not enough. Here's the truth. Formula isn't stronger than breast milk. It's just digested differently. It's heavier, so babies might seem sleepier or go longer between feeds, not because they're more nourished, but because their body is working harder to digest it. Breast milk is the gold standard for infant nutrition. It is tailored for your baby's exact needs in real time. If your baby is gaining weight, having wet diapers, and seems generally content, your milk is working. So let's rewrite this narrative. Supplementing with formula doesn't mean that your breast milk was not enough. It's simply another tool you're using with intention, not a reflection of your worth or your body's ability. Your breast milk is amazing, and biologically speaking, it's better in every way than formula. So never doubt yourself there that the amount of breast milk that you're giving is not enough, because it's absolutely not true. Okay, you ready? Let's rapid fire some combo feeding tips for success. Number 1, start with the breast, then offer the bottle afterward if needed. Number 2, track when you feed, pump, and supplement. Data helps. I love data, and it will make your life so much easier, especially if you go and get help at some point. Number 3, offer formula in separate bottles. Don't mix with breast milk unless you know it will get finished. There's nothing wrong with mixing them together, but if they don't finish it, it does need to be discarded, and wasting breast milk is absolutely the worst. So try separate if you can, although if you know it's going to get finished, you can combine them if it makes your life easier. Number 4, use the smallest amount of formula you think your baby needs. Less waste, less pressure. Always check with your healthcare provider and make sure that you are giving appropriate amounts based on whatever situation that you're currently in. Avoid just-in-case bottles. They often replace necessary nursing or pumping sessions, so be careful there. Number 5 or something. Stick with one type of formula at first to avoid tummy troubles, although you may need to adjust brands if your baby doesn't tolerate it well. That is pretty common with formula. It's just harder to digest, so if you have to try a few different ones, you can, but try and stick with one for a little while just to make sure that it's working. Number 6, maybe? Say no to unnecessary pressure to supplement. Always ask if it's medically necessary. I think sometimes people get put into this situation when they probably didn't need to be there. So just ask questions so that you understand what's needed. Sometimes it's needed. We feed babies for sure, right? But just ask, just so that you're really clear on why. Know your why. We already talked about that earlier, remember? Number 7 or 8. Remember that your storage capacity in your breast and your current milk supply status affects how much flexibility you have in your nursing and pumping routine. All right, it's not the same for everyone. And if you just make a lot of milk, you have a little bit more flexibility than someone who needs to empty the breast very frequently, either because their supply is very low or they have a small capacity. Make sure you're checking in with your healthcare providers regularly, your pediatrician or lactation consultant, whoever you're working with in this scenario, to make sure that your baby is growing appropriately and that the ratios are right. It's not uncommon for things to change, so make sure that you're checking in often to just make sure you're still on the right track and working toward those long-term goals. I think this is number 10, so we must have skipped one somewhere. But most important is to be kind to yourself. You're doing an amazing job. Whether you want to be combination feeding and utilizing formula as a tool to make your life easier, or whether you're actively trying to get baby back to the breast or fully breast milk, I can almost guarantee that you are doing a really, really good job. Okay? Is it perfect? Probably not, but really no one is doing it perfectly. If you need some help, let me know. If you're wondering exactly how to introduce formula, how much to give, how to protect your supply in the process, comment guide below this video and I'll send you a link to a free resource. It walks you through the exact steps of combination feeding, a lot of these same tips and ideas, and how to get additional help also from me and my team if you need it. All right, you're doing a great job. Keep it up and happy pumping.